So welcome to this session by St. Lawrence College and Square Media for Office Administration Health Services. This session is primarily oriented for the students who have already enrolled for the program and those students who are willing to enroll for Office Administration Health Services program. I can see that few of the agents have also joined this session. I would request the agents to come in the session, which is primarily for them because it has been shared on the social media and on the link also that this session is primarily for the students to come and join in. So this is entirely oriented towards students and how they can let them know about the program as well as the eligibility criteria and also to prepare them for an interview session, which is scheduled just after this webinar. So I would request the agents to please leave the session and we'll surely get back to you in case you are willing to proceed with a specific session on Office Administration Health Services. We'd be there to support you on the same from our India office. And this session is primarily oriented towards the students. We will just wait for 2 minutes more for the students to join in the session and then we'll start with that. Welcome students in this session organized by St. Lawrence College and M Square Media for Office Administration Health Services. This session is oriented towards the information on the Office Administration Health Services program and also to share with you that how you can get yourself enrolled in this program. Earlier, it was that a simple application in this program was enough to be eligible for this program. But now we have changed the eligibility criteria. Now the student also need to appear for an interview schedule, which has already been shared with you over the phone to appear for this program. And today I would like you to introduce to our facilitators for the day. We have with us our Associate Director, International Student Recruitment, Mr. Engineer Organ from St. Lawrence College, along with Ms. Melinda Vincenten, who is the Professor and Faculty for Office Administration Health Services Program. And she would be the one who would be spearheading this presentation today, wherein we will be talking to the students about the program, about the eligibility, and later on, she'll be the one who will be taking care of the interviews for this program. So now I would like to share with you about some housekeeping rules for this webinar. Your video would be off during the session because it's a webinar. After the session, you can share your questions in the Q&A section, which is there at the bottom corner of the screen. You can type in your question and answers during the presentation or after the presentation also about your doubts, queries, which you have for this program, so that we are able to speak on the same after the session. And besides this, you can also ask about if there is any question left later on after the session also, because you have our details with us. You can always get in touch with us for the more details. And now I would request engineer to just commence the session and we can proceed with that. Thank you. Thank you very much. Engineer.
Thank you, Vandana, and thank you, everyone. Welcome, students. I hope you had a very happy and restful National Day yesterday. I'm happy to also mention that we have our Philippines representative with us today, Mr. Oliver Bata, and we may have students from the Philippines joining us as well. It is a pleasure to be with you and a pleasure to have my colleagues with me today. It's quite early here in Canada, and we want to make sure, first and foremost, that the students who join our programs are well informed about the content of those programs, the expectations, the outcomes, and obviously the professional goals that you can achieve by joining St. Lawrence College and our 3 campuses located in Kingston, Brockville, and Cornwall, Ontario, Canada. So thank you for joining us today. Thank you to my colleague Melinda for taking the time to present to you today and to interview each and every student who has shown interest in this program. Thank you, Vandana, and your team, Saliha, and the rest for organizing and preparing this info session. And that being said, I'd let you proceed with the rest of the presentation. Thank you so much.
Okay, hello everybody. I'm very excited to be here. I also want to say a big thank you to everybody that put the time into organizing this event. It takes a lot of work behind the scenes to get something like this to happen across multiple countries. So I just want to say thank you to everyone for the work that you put in to make this event happen. My name is Melinda Van Zanten. I am the coordinator and a professor in the Office Administration program. We have 3 different programs in Office Administration, and I coordinate the 3 of those. I'm going to focus today on the Health Services program at St. Lawrence College. I want to thank the students as well for attending today, and I'm really looking forward to meeting each of you in our interview process, which is very relaxed, it's low key, it's just a chance to get to know each other a little bit. So I hope you're not nervous about that. It's meant to be fun and informative. So let me first start by getting through some of the material about the Office Administration program. And then we'll end it there and we'll jump into the interviews. So my goal is very simple here today in this short presentation. It's designed to explain the value of the Office Administration program and give you a sense, the student, a sense of what kind of jobs exist upon graduation from this program. I also want to take a moment and outline some of the qualifications that a student requires to be successful in this field. So let's jump in and get started. I'm looking over here just so you wonder why I'm looking this direction. It's where my slides are. So first I want to start with explaining the different programs that we have at St. Lawrence College. So you can see here that we've got a couple of different options. We have a certificate program, which is 1 year. And some students decide to go that route. They take the 1 year program, they get their certificate, and sometimes they'll move on to another program where they also gain a 1 year certificate at St. Lawrence College, which gives them the 2 year educational requirement that they need. The students that tend to do that 1 year program are ones that decide that once they've started this program, they go, you know what, it isn't really for me. I think I'd rather do something else like general arts and science or business or something like that. And what this program does is it gives you the opportunity to change your mind halfway through. So you can get your 1 year certificate and move on and do something else. Most students, 99% of the students that join our program, join in for the diploma program. And that's the 2 year program. And that's the focus of my presentation today. It's the Health Services Office Administration program. It is 2 years and it gives you a diploma upon graduation. We also have a third option, and it's the dual program where you can take both a health services and legal program. And that gives you double diploma upon graduation. It is expensive, and that's why generally international students tend to stick to the health services program. And that's why that's my focus today. But you should be aware that there is a dual diploma program available to you, which includes legal and health. So we have 3 different intakes in our program. We have a September intake. So many students from around the world joined us this past September for the program. They're now currently in their 2nd semester. We have a January intake. So we've had a handful of students, probably about 15 new students join us this January. They're in their 2nd week right now. It's very exciting. They're nervous, right? But they're with us, some remotely from India, some physically here in Canada that joined us. And we also have a May intake, and most of you have shown interest in the May intake. The May intake starts, the semester starts May 10th. And what we do, the May intake is a little different. What we do is we give you 3 or 4 courses to start with over May, June, and July. And it's designed to get you comfortable with your surroundings here in Canada. And the courses usually revolve around an introduction to computers, an introduction to communications, professional effectiveness, and we may put in like an accounting course or a bookkeeping course. And that's designed to get you comfortable here, and then you join everybody else in the regular September intake. So I imagine some of you will have additional questions as it relates to the May intake. So I hope you put those in the Q&A as Vandana had suggested, and I'm happy to answer those later or through the interview process. So this is a very busy screen, but what I've done here is I just wanted to highlight some of the courses, well, all the courses that you would be taking during your time here in the 2-year diploma. And you can see here in semester 1, this lists all the courses you'll be taking. There's an introduction to Microsoft Word. There's a bookkeeping course, office procedures, an introduction to Microsoft Excel. There's a communications course and professional effectiveness. You can see here that you're in class 21 hours per week. So that gives you an idea of how much time you're physically in class, whether remotely or here in Canada, if we're back on campus. Those would be the number of hours that you would have to dedicate to the class. You would have additional homework outside of those hours, okay? When you're done semester 1, you move into semester 2. And the reason I highlight the ones in red is to show you that these courses build on each other. So we start with an introduction to Word, and then you move into an intermediate Word course, and then you move into an advanced Word course, for instance, okay? So a lot of the courses that you're taking here, if you read them, you can see that they're computer-based courses. So we build very strong computer literate students. By the time you're done, you're incredibly computer literate, okay? Which is a very valuable skill in any job market, all right? If you have questions about those courses, again, I'm happy to answer those in the Q&A or in our interview. One of the most valued components of this program, and something we really value and we really enjoy with the students, is what we call the student work placement component. And that is where you go and work in an office in the community, and you use the skills that you've learned in the classroom and you apply them to a real work environment. And the reason it's so valued is because it gives you the experience. It allows you to apply those skills that you learned. It allows you to see what people are like in the workplace, how they act, how they dress, how they talk. You have 3 different placements throughout your 2 years. You have a 2-week placement in the 2nd semester, in the 3rd semester in year 2, and then in the 4th semester in year 2. And the reason I put general, medical, or legal office in semester 3 and 4 is because that's when you start to have your health services or your medical training in the 2nd year. So you wouldn't be able to do a medical placement in the 1st year, but you certainly can do 2 different placements in the medical stream in the 2nd year. We also have a placement option called a simulated placement. So for those students that maybe have never worked in an office before, maybe have never held a part-time job before, they prefer this option, the simulated placement, for their first placement. And what that is you attend a fictitious, a pretend office with us on campus or virtually, and we help prepare you to work in an office. We give you real life examples of things you would need to do in an office. And then you're much more comfortable, you feel more confident going out on your 2nd and 3rd placement in the community. Again, you'll probably have questions related to that, and I'll answer those in the Q&A. So again, the placement experience is designed to enhance your communication skills, your networking skills. It helps you work on your teamwork skills, your computer applications. So all those computer courses that you're taking, you use all of those skills on placement. And it helps increase your professionalism skills, right? It gets you better designed to secure a job upon graduation. So what are the program requirements? So if you decide to complete a medical placement, you will be required to have your immunizations up to date according to Canadian standards. And we'll talk more about that because that isn't until 2nd year. So you would have lots of time in order to get that organized. The technical requirements are very important. If you join us in May, whether it be from home, virtually, or here in Canada, you still have to be required to have certain technical equipment at home. And one of those would be a personal computer, whether it be a laptop or a desktop computer. It needs to be up to date. You have to have Windows 10 operating system on that computer. It can't be a shared computer. It should be a dedicated computer to you as a student, because you will be very busy in class and doing homework, okay? You should have an external keyboard or mouse as well. So you have a keyboard on your computer, but we also encourage you to have an external keyboard, and that helps with increasing your keyboarding skills, your typing speed, okay? You would need to have a webcam and a microphone externally or built into your computer to attend virtual classes. We suggest that you have a USB, an external saving device. And additional technical requirements, these are suggestions, that you have a second monitor attached to your computer as well, so that you can have documents open on one and doing homework on the second computer or second monitor. And we would talk about that with you in your orientation or first class. You should have, if possible, a dedicated workspace at home where you have peace and quiet to attend class and also complete your homework as much as possible. I know sometimes that's not possible. One of the other requirements is that we have to purchase the textbooks. And I know that can be a challenge sometimes depending on where you are physically located. But each of the textbooks, there's only 2 textbooks, can be purchased as electronic books. So you're not ordering a hard copy book, they're purchased online. Okay, so what type of student is well suited for the office administration program? We find that the students that have these qualities listed here are the best suited for our program. And those skills revolve around, I have organizational skills at the top of the list. The reason for that is that with the volume of homework that you'll have and the amount of jobs that you'll have to complete while in school will require you to be very organized in where you're keeping your files and your homework. And being an office administrator, you have to be organized. The people that put together this presentation today had to be organized, right? They had to know where everybody was. They had to put all the technical requirements together. If you're not an organized individual, it's going to make this very difficult for you. We do provide training as it relates to organizational skills. So if you're not particularly organized, we'll help you in that area. But if you love organization, this is the program for you. We also require students to have good communication skills. So not to be afraid to reach out to your faculty and ask questions if you're struggling. Sometimes students are nervous to do that. And in our program, we have a very open environment. We encourage students to reach out to all of us, all the faculty, and ask for help. Okay, so exercising those communication skills. You need to have a passion for learning. So we have a very busy program. You have to be open to learning new things, but it doesn't stop with our program, right? There's lifelong learning. And we encourage students to continue their learning journey after they leave us. So having that passion for learning is what's going to drive you to want to be successful in our program. You need to be computer literate. So what do I mean by that? You need to have used a computer before. You need to have used a keyboard before. Our program teaches you how to be computer literate, but if you've never used a computer before, you will struggle in this program. Okay, so some entry-level computer skills are really going to help you. Using your phone is not the same as using a computer. Okay, so you need to be aware of that. We help you, but to have some introductory level computer skills is going to help you. And I encourage you to ask me questions about that after, exactly what I'm talking about there. If you're going to move into the health services stream in the second year in our program, you want to be able to work with people, right? Are you the kind of student that likes working with patients, with clients, with others in the workplace? A lot of our students end up working in hospitals, for instance, right? Are you able to communicate with patients, right? So those are the kind of skills that we're looking for. This is a testimonial from one of our graduates. Her name is Chanmeet. And she explains here that when she came to our program, she was nervous, as I'm sure you are, embarking on a new adventure. She was nervous as well. And she had found that adjusting to the new environment, she came physically to Canada in her first semester, was very difficult for her. She missed her family, but she found over time that with support from her professors, from the faculty, and support of her new friends here in Canada, and the resources that St. Lawrence College provided, that she was able to adjust over time. And it didn't happen overnight. It took time to become comfortable here. But she invested in that. She jumped in and she took it on. And over time, she became very comfortable and loved it here. She says the office administration program attracted me because it has those 3 student work placements that I spoke about earlier. She knew those placements were going to give her the experience that she needed to secure a job upon employment. And Chanmeet is a star in our program. You know, she really took advantage of everything St. Lawrence College had to offer. And she ended up getting a really good job at Queen's University, a high-end academic institution here in Kingston, in the city of Kingston. And she is still working there as an administrative assistant. It's a really good job. And she got that straight out of graduation, and it came from her placement that she did there. Okay, so she was able to secure employment based on the placement that she had. Some opportunities and challenges that you might expect as a student here. Some of the opportunities and some of the things that the students report that they like about St. Lawrence College and our program. They like the fact that we have small classrooms, and all students enjoy that, right? Because you get more one-on-one attention with the faculty, you get more help. Right? So our average class size right now is anywhere from 15 to 35. Okay, so the biggest class we would have is, the biggest class I've ever had might be 40, 45 students, but on average we have about 30, say. So they're nice small class sizes. We offer a lot of peer tutoring services. There is academic support centers here at St. Lawrence College to help you with your English skills, your written and communication skills. We're here to help you with that and enhance those skills. We have clubs like the English Conversation and something called Toastmasters that is designed to help you with your English skills. We do something here in the office administration program, which is unique to our program. We call it student faculty interviews. And it's where halfway through the semester, the faculty meet with the student one-on-one. And we provide feedback. We give you feedback on how you're doing. How are you feeling? It gives you an opportunity to speak to us about maybe some of the challenges you're experiencing or some of the highlights. It allows us to give you a pat on the back and say, you know what, you're doing really well. Keep up the good work. So students really enjoy that opportunity to meet with their faculty halfway through their first semester. Another opportunity here in office administration program at St. Lawrence College is that 95 to 100% of our graduates secure employment upon graduation. Those are extraordinary statistics. So the opportunities that exist upon graduation in this field in Canada are vast. And I'm going to give you some examples of the type of jobs that you can work in so you can see. Many students report liking the Kingston area, Kingston, Ontario, Canada, when they come here. This is a small city. It's about 200,000 people. And students report feeling safe here. They really enjoy the community, and they decide that once they're here, many want to stay here. And the nice thing about being in this program is that there's a lot of jobs available upon graduation in this tiny city that we live in. Many students also move on to larger cities like Toronto and Vancouver, and the jobs exist there as well. So many job opportunities upon graduation in this program. Some of the challenges that the students report is the fact that all instruction, of course, is in English, and it's a fast-paced program. So the stronger your English skills are, the easier it is for you. But remember, we have these support services in place for you, right, to help enhance those communication skills. The volume of homework is quite intense. There's a lot of homework here. You saw in the first semester, you had 21 hours of class. You can assume you have another 20 hours of homework at a minimum. So you're looking at 30 to 40 hours a week of dedicated study time and class time. That does not leave a lot of time to work part-time. So we suggest students don't work more than 15 hours per week in addition to their classes in order to be successful. Another challenge some of the students report is that there are set deadlines. So in the office administration program, when we assign homework, there are very strict deadlines on when those are due. So if I assign something on Tuesday, I would say it's due Friday morning. There are no exceptions to that. So if you're late, you might lose marks. And the students find that challenging at first. They adjust to it. And the reason we do that is it prepares you for the real world environment, that when you are given a task in an office, there are deadlines that are imposed. And that's what we're trying to train you for. Okay. One of the biggest challenges, of course, is that when students come to Canada, they report feeling homesick, as did Chanmeet in the earlier testimonial. Over time, students find that that gets a little bit better. Some students really struggle with that. We have counseling services available for students that we encourage them to use to help get through those feelings of being homesick. We also encourage students to reach out to other students and build those friendships to help with being homesick. The other issue that right now we have, because students are attending virtually, whether from home in your home country or here, is that the time zone differences can be a challenge, right? So right now it's 7:30 in the morning here, it's 5:30, 6 o'clock where you are. So sometimes classes can be very late in the evening for you, depending on where you're located. We're hoping that we'll be back on campus soon, so that we can all be together in the same time zone eventually. Okay, so some of the recommendations that we have for students is that, I guess the biggest recommendation I have for you is understanding the number of opportunities are available to you in office administration upon graduation. These are some of the job titles that I've listed that students have achieved upon graduation. So medical administrator, dental office assistant, executive assistants, receptionists, operation managers, office managers. There's lots of opportunities upon graduation for employment in this field. There is no shortage of jobs in this field. Okay. When students arrive, we have certain recommendations. We strongly encourage students to reach out to other students and build those friendships, right? That really is the key to being successful when you arrive, whether you're here in Canada or virtually. Reach out to others and communicate with others and build those friendships. We encourage students to reach out to their faculty, and I know sometimes that can be challenging, but our faculty are extremely approachable. And you saw in Chanmeet's testimonial that she found that support she received from the faculty really helped her a lot. We suggest that students don't work more than 15 hours per week part-time while they're in Canada because of the volume of work that you have to complete. And we don't want your studies to be affected because you're working too much, okay? We ask students to invest in their education, come to class prepared, get their homework done. The more you put into your classes, the more you get out of it. We also encourage students to explore other available paths to graduation. So I mentioned that the one-year certificate was available to you. If you decide you're in this program and you realize, you know what, it's a lot, I don't know if it's for me, there are other options here at St. Lawrence College. You're not stuck. And we have about maybe 10% of the students decide that, you know what, I may move into another program for my second year, and they like the fact that that option is available to them. 90% of the students stay with us and complete the second year. Okay, so that's it for me, Vandana. I'm going to hand it back to you and just see if there are any questions.
So students, if you have any question, please type in the question in the Q&A section.
Vandana, I do have a question.
Yes, Antonio, please.
So Melinda, thank you so much. That was very, very detailed and informative. I wanted to ask on behalf of students, perhaps they're nervous still. So if I am a student and I have some kind of a medical background, let's say practical nursing or medical or I used to be a dentist back at home, and I've joined this program because I am hoping to have the opportunity to work at a health facility and perhaps eventually become a nurse or a doctor or a dentist in Canada. Is this the right program for me?
It is. That is a great question, Antonio. And I should have addressed that in my presentation because it is such a great question. We have many, many students that come into our program with medical backgrounds. Not all students have a medical background, and that's okay. But many are drawn to this program because it's called health services and they have some kind of medical training in their past. Like you said, whether they're a nurse, a dentist, we've had many dentists in our program. They could be a pharmacist, physiotherapist, many backgrounds. The medical background can help you in the second year when we get into courses like medical terminology. It gives you an advantage, but we have, like I said, half our students in our program have no medical knowledge whatsoever, and they succeed as well. When it comes to employment upon graduation, absolutely, you would end up working for your 3 years. You're looking to obtain your permanent residency. You would work in a healthcare facility as an office administrator initially. And many students report a desire to move on and get additional education in their respective fields, like a dentist, like nursing. Most people want to get into nursing after our program. And this program sets you up really well afterwards for that, mostly because of the computer skills that you will have upon graduation. Many students that go into nursing or dentistry or medical school don't have the computer education that they need to be successful in school. And you are going to have that education in spades. I mean, you will be so computer literate by the time you're done, you'll be able to take any course, medical or otherwise. And it's only going to help you. The additional medical education that you get in relation to medical office procedures, it tells you how a medical office is run. It prepares you in all of those ways. Right? So the courses that you take here will only enhance your future education in the medical field. I hope that answers that, Antonio.
Great, it does. And I'm happy to hear that you're emphasizing the computer skills that are necessary because that's a very strong component of the program. I'll counter react to that and ask you again, would I start working as a nurse right away or as a dentist right away upon graduation from this program?
Okay, so no, you do not work as a nurse. You are not trained as a nurse. You are not trained as a dentist. You may be trained at home, but that would require additional training here. And most students, I can think of one in particular I just spoke to last week. His name is Tripp. He came to me, he took our program. He graduated with a 2-year diploma in health services. He went to work in a nearby city, Ottawa, and he was a manager of a large grocery chain right now. That's what he's choosing to do to work for the next 3 years. His plan is to come back to St. Lawrence College and enroll in the nursing program, where then he will gain a nursing degree. Then he'll be able to work as a nurse upon graduation of his second program. So I need to be very clear about that, and it's a great question. You will not graduate as a nurse. You do not graduate as a dentist. You graduate as a medical office administrator, which gets you into healthcare facilities, working at the front line, right? So a lot of the jobs, you're the front person. You're the first person patients see when they come to a healthcare facility. Okay, that's the role that you would be in upon graduation in our program.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And I see some questions on the chat box.
Yeah, thanks, Antonio. Thanks, Melinda. Melinda, the question is, the student wants to know what is the difference in certificate program and diploma program.
Okay, so that's a great question. And I knew that would come up. So the 1-year certificate is not a diploma. It does not meet your educational requirements. You need 2 years. The 1-year certificate, some students will take if they only want an entry level position in office administration. So for instance, a receptionist position, where you're the first person at the front door when you walk into a business. That is a receptionist. That 1-year certificate, those are the type of jobs you get with that certificate. It doesn't allow you to go much further than that. The reason the students take the diploma is it gives them additional job opportunities like office manager. It allows them to work at academic institutions. It allows them to work in the area of research as office administrators. It opens a lot more doors. The reason I even showed the 1-year certificate, because I know most of you are not looking for that. The reason I showed it is because some students, when they get here or they start the program, realize maybe this isn't the right program for me, but that's okay. You can still leave with a 1-year certificate. There's value, but it allows you to move on to another program and get their 1-year certificate. So you end up still with 2 1-year certificates, which satisfies that 2-year educational requirement that you have, right? So that's why I mentioned it in the first place. But most students come into office administration health services with the idea that they're going to complete the 2-year diploma. And we encourage that because that's where the good jobs are upon graduation.
Thanks, Melinda. And we have another question from the same student. Do teachers help students? Do the faculty and the coordinator professors help students if they do not understand in one time? So it was important to answer this. So I really want you to please answer this question.
Yeah, it's a great question. So yes, we do. And I wish I had some current students right now I can think of that are in my second year program. Arshdeep comes to mind. He's a young man that started with us a year and a half ago, January. He started this January a year ago. And he struggled, and he came to me right at the very beginning of this semester. And he said, Melinda, I need help. I'm struggling. English is not my first language. I don't know what you're saying in class. You speak fast. And I understood that. We've had students say that before. And what we do is we work with those students one-on-one. We have small class sizes. So with Arshdeep in particular, I sat down with him and I said, here's what you need to do, Arshdeep, to be organized when you come to class. Make sure you have everything done before you arrive. Be ready to start the next class. I walked him down to the English Conversation Club, took him by the hand and walked him down myself and said, this is where you need to be. You need to improve your English skills. He's now in the second year health services program, is one of my top students. And the reason for that is he's never afraid to ask for help. And all faculty, whether part-time or full-time, are very approachable. They're very nice. They're easy to talk to. We answer email communications constantly, and we book one-on-one meetings with students when they require help. The biggest challenge students have is asking for the help. The help is there. You just have to ask for it, right? I hope that answers that question, Vandana.
Yeah, thanks, Melinda. And this is for the students' assurance that we are there always with you during the journey and after the journey. When you are studying at St. Lawrence or once you have completed your studies at St. Lawrence, we are there with you. Sometimes you just have to come forward and ask us for the support, and we are there to support you. So the next question is there from the student, Melinda. The student wants to know that is computer learning, or you can say computers knowledge, is crucial for this program?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I can't state that strongly enough. 90% of your courses in this program, when we're on campus, when we're face-to-face together, are in a computer lab. 90%. So you will become very computer literate by the time you're finished. So you have to have some computer skills coming into this program. And during the interview process, I'm happy to talk to you about that and see what your current experience is with computers and whether this is a good fit for you, right? Based on the amount of work there is on the computer. Now, remember, the first semester of this program is introduction. It's introduction to all those computer courses. We're there to build those computer skills. You don't have to have strong computer skills coming in. You have to have some computer skill. Okay, I need to state that very clearly. Those that struggle the most in this program are those students that have never used a computer before. Those are the ones that struggle. Okay, so those that come in that have used a keyboard, have used a laptop before, they're fine. If they're willing to put the work in, they're fine.
Thanks,
I wanted
Belinda,
to
for
add,
yeah. Please
Vandana, sorry, I
continue.
wanted to add. So if I'm applying for the May intake or the September intake this year, I still have a few months ahead of me. So if I'm don't feel confident in Microsoft Office, in using computers, using a keyboard, what are some of the things that you would recommend that we do in the meantime to prepare for that May intake if I feel, let's say, more comfortable using my cell phone than using my computer?
That's a great question. So I note on the sheet of the attendees today that most of you are looking to the May intake. The May intake is unique in that we provide you extra supports that September intake doesn't necessarily get. May intake is designed to prepare you for September intake. So there's a lot of hand-holding. We provide extra support and attention to you in May to get you prepared to start in September. So if, to Antonio's question, if you're interested in the program and you decide, you know what, this is what I want, and after our interview, we decide that you're a good fit, what I would do is I would send you an email with a link to a program called typing.com. And that typing.com is a free program, and it allows you to practice your keyboarding skills. It tells you how to use your fingers on the keyboard. And the only thing I would ask you to do between now and May is do that every day. Practice that software. That it's like a game. Practice it 15 minutes to 30 minutes every day between now and May. And when you come in May, that's all I would ask you to do. You don't have to do anything in Word. You don't have to do anything in Excel. All you have to do is become comfortable with the keyboard. And I would give you that software for free. It wouldn't cost you anything. It would just require you to log on and practice. And I'd be happy to do that, because the more familiar you are with a keyboard, the more successful you will be in this program.
Thanks,
I
Belinda.
want
It was
some
a
help too. That sounds great.
yeah, it was a wonderful input for the students to do, because this is something which is very important for the students to first practice before they enroll for the program. Melinda, we have the next question. The student is asking, after completing this program, will I be able to enroll for nursing program in Canada?
Yeah, so usually with my, and maybe Antonio wants to expand on my answer here. Usually what our students do upon graduation of the 2-year health services diploma, they go and work for 3 years. That's what they do to try and gain their permanent residency. The reason, from what I understand, Antonio will know more about this, the reason is that they can then come back when they have achieved or obtained their permanent residency. They come back for their education because it's cheaper. It's now domestic tuition rates because you're considered a domestic student. So in the example I gave of Trip before, he waited or is waiting the 3 years so he gets his permanent residency. Then he's coming back to nursing school at St. Lawrence College because his tuition is that much less expensive. So that's usually the path that students take. They do the 2 years with us. They work for 3 years in the field. It gives them great experience too, right? Very valuable experience in the field. Then they come back. Antonio, maybe, do you have anything you want to, just want to make sure I'm giving the right message.
Absolutely, and you're totally right about this. I'll add an aspect is that health programs in Canada are often oversubscribed, meaning that we have more Canadian students, domestic students applying for these programs. And for the most part, those students are given a priority because they fill the program. So it is required if you are going to go into nursing or dentistry and any other kind of very involved health programs that you're a permanent resident of Canada or a Canadian citizen. So that's why many students use other health-oriented programs as a gateway, as a pathway into other sort of more comprehensive programs like nursing. So that's one way that you need, as Melinda says, to be a permanent resident. The other option is that sometimes you may already have that nursing background, you may have the dentistry background, but some of your credentials are not recognized in Canada. So students use this time while you're taking your office administration health program and while you're working to have those credentials assessed. And once they are assessed and you're a permanent resident, then you can come back to school to complete a practical nursing, a nursing program, and you would have some of the credentials that you have already obtained back at home recognized so you can advance your health or your career. What happens sometimes is after graduating from, let's say, office administration health, students find amazing jobs and they realize that they don't need to be nurses or they don't need to be dentists in order to be happy and successful in their careers. So this is an opportunity that the program gives you for you to better understand working life in Canada, to better understand your own personal career goals, so you can determine, do I take this route? Do I take a different route, etc. So we're usually embedded in this idea that we need to be nurses or doctors or dentists to be successful. But there are other career paths that students can find. Another element is that the 2-year program that you take at St. Lawrence College will give you a 3-year work permit opportunity. So within those 5 years, a lot of things can change. You can retrain, you can find a job, you can create your own business, etc. So there are plenty of opportunities, and this program will get you your foot in the door for you to start and launch your professional career in Canada. So that's it.
And if I can just add to that too, Antonio, thank you. You said it so perfectly. Antonio used the word gateway into other programs. And some of you are thinking, why this program over another as my gateway, if that's what you're thinking of pursuing additional education. This program gives you the computer skills you need to be successful in any area of work, any career that you're in. If you look at all the people on the screen right now or look around you, everybody has to have computer skills to be successful. It doesn't matter what career path you take, doctor, nurse, dentist, whatever it is, you have to be computer literate. This program gives you that, right? And you'll never lose it. No one can ever take that from you. You'll always have those computer skills. Other programs don't give you that like we do. And that's why our graduates get jobs. That's why we have 95 to 100% employment rate upon graduation. It's because you're computer literate, and you'll have that the rest of your life. So regardless of what you do, and if you look at Chanmeet as my testimonial example, she also she thought coming here, I'm going to go into nursing. She isn't. She decided to stay with her office administrative position at Queen's University. She enjoys the academic institution environment. It's a beautiful campus. She's happy there. She makes good money, right? And that's the other thing. You can make good money in this field. And once you're in the field, students recognize, oh, maybe I don't have to do all that extra education, or maybe I'll do it 5 years from now, right? So to Antonio's point, don't get hung up on the fact that you have to do something after. Many people enjoy the field. I'm a graduate of this program. I chose over the years to keep taking more education, but not right after I graduated. I worked in the field for 10, 15 years before I decided I wanted to do something different, right? So everybody has their own path. And I'm happy to talk about those in the interviews if you have individual questions about your path.
Thanks, Melinda. And we have another question from the student. This question would have been answered for the student that you have a pretty good career and future. Once you pass out from this program, it has already been addressed by Ingenio as well as Melinda. And now the next question is, if the student doesn't have good communication skills, then this course is right for them or not?
So I have two answers to that question. Yes, it is the right program for you if you're willing to work on enhancing those communication skills, if you're willing to practice and increase your English proficiency. Okay, let me give you an example. If when you graduate after 2 years, if your English is not where it needs to be, you need to go to a job interview and someone is going to sit across the table from you. If they're not understanding you, that means the patients that you're taking care of, they won't be able to understand you. And then we've got a problem, right? So I hesitate because I say it's better to have strong communication skills. Yes. If they're not super strong, we have programs here to help you with that. But it takes the student to go after that, right? The faculty are not going to force you into these extra programs to help you with your communication skills. We have the programs there, but it takes the student to recognize that they need to increase their English. And if I give you a real example right now, Arshdeep, again, I'm going to use Arshdeep, called me on the phone, okay, on my, at home, called me on the phone, and he said, Melinda, I'm not sure my English is good enough. I said, it's not, Arshdeep, it's not. You're graduating in 4 months, but what are you going to do about that? You're going to go to the English Conversation Club. And he said, I'm going right now, because he knows he has to increase his English skills, all his technical skills. He has great computer skills now. He's a year and a half into the program, right? He can do all the homework. He's a straight A student. It's his English. But he now knows he has to increase those skills. He has to improve those skills because he's about to start applying for jobs. Okay, that's a real life scenario that just happened a couple days ago. So to answer that question, Vandana, yes, you have to have strong communication skills. It only helps you. But if you're willing to work on it, then you take the 2 years and you work on those communication skills to be successful, because ultimately you're here to get a job and you have to have strong communication skills to get a job.
Thanks, Melinda. I think that's it. We have almost addressed all the students' question. And Oliver, I would request you to kindly let us know the final schedule. So if we are proceeding with the interview for the Philippine students.
You're muted, Oliver.
Yeah, it's right on schedule. Actually, the 2 of our students are joining us now. They're with us right now.
So we would be joining the another link. Students, Indian students, they can join in for their interview as scheduled with them. And we'll also call you up in another 5-10 minutes to send a reminder to you for your interview timings. And Filipino student, they can join the link straight away. I hope, Oliver, you would have shared the link with them.
Yes, I did.
Okay. So we'll just leave this webinar and we'll join that.
I just would like to thank you, Vandana, and your team. Oliver, thank you for attending. Melinda, it's great to see you. I'm not going to join you for the interviews.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for your time and your dedication. And I look forward to welcoming all these students to St. Lawrence College very soon. So thank you all and good luck with your interviews. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Antonio.
Thanks, Melinda. Thanks, Antonio, for this supporting us for this session. And thanks to all the students to participate in this session. And we'll meet you in the interview.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, everybody.
All the best.
Thanks.